Welcome, 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 all of you people. We are back.
Hi, guys.
It's been a long time.
It's been a minute.
My feet hurt still.
Mine don't.
Well, that's aren't you
I
special.
have a cat in my lap who was under the blanket.
Yes. We're back from Disney. Back from vacation.
Is
Super
anybody here
excited.
with us? Or are we talking to ourselves?
I think we're talking to ourselves.
Nice.
That's fine.
We were late to our own party.
Right? I had to run to the Walmart place. We didn't get any Mickey ears this year.
No, we did, but not for us, just for the girl.
Oh, she got Mickey ears.
Yeah, she got Mickey ears. The rest of us didn't get any. I already have a set of Ursula Mickey ears.
I still haven't got any. I got a Tervis cup, and I got some 100-year anniversary pants with all these characters on them.
And a hoodie.
And a hoodie, yeah.
That I'm going to steal.
Yeah, I'm never probably ever going to get to wear that hoodie.
Most likely not.
So glad you're here, Jen.
I got...
Partners in Ketosis. Anna and Chris are here.
Nice. I got sweatpants that have the Disney logo on them and a Spirit jersey from the Halloween night. So that's pretty cool.
Jen Lucas is here.
Well, hello. Hi, everybody.
I miss all of you wonderful people. October was a flippin' whirlwind of a month. Like it doesn't seem like it was real.
It was kind of wild. There was a lot going on.
Keto Palooza, Botch. That was amazing. You know, we got fireworks going out. At least I hope it's fireworks. I'm gonna cross my fingers that it's fireworks.
Fireworks. It sounds like fireworks.
Anyway.
And for me, like, we had our series of 3 not fantastic things. Losing the cat. By the way, the cat came back. Then he ran off again.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in a while.
Losing the cat. Our son's car got wrecked into by somebody with a moving truck and basically demolished, but he got it runnable. So it's street legal right now.
Almost tore the rear quarter panel off.
Yeah. And then when we got to Disney, we realized I had a nail in the tire. So had to deal with all that. So that's our 3.
We got lucky with that.
Everything's turning out okay other than the cat, which really makes my feelings hurt because I've had him for 14 years. And for him to have been my kitty cat for 14 years to just decide that he doesn't love me anymore and to leave kind of makes me upset.
I don't think I really had blisters as much as a stress fracture on my right foot.
Well, maybe.
Because, well, I'm sure we had some kind of blisters and stuff, but
I didn't have any.
Walking through the parks like one night, it felt like you're walking on, you know, and you got your foot here, your heel, and your little toes up here. It felt like it was going to bend in half here, up, like that. It was not fun. I do not recommend it. I give it a 0 Yelp score.
He's a little whiny. I didn't really get any blisters except for, okay, so the only skinny parts on my whole body are my hands and my feet. And my feet.
Patience.
And my patience.
Yeah.
It's kind of thin too. Yeah. So my feet are very, very bony. And my feet got hot because it was like 86 something degrees there. And I'm wearing tennis shoes and socks, which I never wear. I'm more of a barefoot person. And I bought a pair of Disney slide Crocs, which wasn't terribly expensive. I mean, they were like $35, but they gave me like sores on my little bony feet. It was not comfortable, but I got other shoes. I went and bought myself a pair of Birkenstocks and did fine after that. But
get your paws off of me.
Don't be mean to
him. It hurt.
I know.
He's got his little needles he just pushes into your skin.
Show you love. He's nesting.
He's too slow at it.
Anyway, we had a great time at Disney.
We did. And again, if you are friends with us on Facebook, be prepared for a photo dump coming soon. I had to download them all, and then I had to, they bundle them all together in multiple files. It was like 21 files of multiple pictures.
Yeah, we did the Disney Photo Pass, so we got a bazillion pictures. And I forced the children to take as many as I could force.
Yeah.
Including the toddler who was kind of a butt at first and didn't want her picture taken at all. And then when she decided she wanted her picture taken, she decided she was a fashion model and she was doing this and that and like all these poses. It was amazing.
You trip out.
Sorry, my phone's on. It's making noise.
Oh man. I mean, talk about a wonderful vacation, but exhausting at the same time. Because I mean, there were 7 of us in a house. We could kind of go off on our separate ways. Everybody would just kind of go off to their rooms and just kind of chill. And we had our room downstairs away from everybody else.
That was really nice.
Yeah.
I didn't plan it that way, but it certainly turned out well.
I didn't have to go up the stairs unless it was to do laundry.
Yeah.
So we had a little pool in the back. It was a small little pool. It was like
tiny. Oh my goodness.
Like
it was more like a larger hot tub.
Like I was making the girl laugh because I would stand up towards the stairs and just fall back. And just that motion would cause the water to splash out of the pool in the deep end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The deep end. It got to 4 feet.
Yeah.
The deep end.
So they're saying they've never been to Disney World, grew up in San Diego, so I have been to Disneyland. I found that the best day to go is on Easter Sunday. We went every ride by the afternoon. Oh, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
So one of the best things to do in October is if you want to go to the Magic Kingdom, go on a party day because there's all these parties.
They have like a Halloween party every night for so many months.
Well, not every, like it's like 2 or 3 times a week.
Several nights for so many months from what?
August through November 1st.
November 1st, yeah.
Yeah, so we went, our first day at the parks was at the Magic Kingdom, and it was a party night. So we had to vacate the Magic Kingdom by 6 p.m.
Was that the first day?
That was the first park we went to. It was a Tuesday.
Are you sure?
Yes. I know. I planned it.
I'm just saying because that was the day that Saul had his little panic attack.
Yeah, that was on the way out of Magic Kingdom at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We went back and had that like 45-minute nap.
Yeah.
And then he didn't go and was mad at us.
Yeah.
And we went to Hollywood Studios after we went home for like an hour.
Yeah.
Like 2 hours or whatever. And we went back. It was cool and nice. It was nice.
Yeah.
Super nice.
Our bonus child doesn't do a lot with being in public around a ton of people. So the first day was overwhelming for him. But he got through it. And I think he ended up having a good time. It's hard to tell. I mean, he's what, 21?
22.
22. Maybe? And has that, the older teenage vibe where they don't talk a whole lot.
Yeah.
So.
But we had such a fabulous time. And like, I want to go to Disneyland. I want to go to Shanghai.
He wants to go to everything Disney. All of it.
Even the cruise.
I don't want to cruise.
Ooh, there's a new cruise line there's a new cruise ship that they're going to be opening up soon. And it's going to have a haunted mansion bar in it.
I mean, that would be nice to see, but I don't want to cruise.
Well, you just stay home.
Yeah. If that's the way you want to work it.
Twerk it. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm not big into cruises.
She doesn't even like Eddie and the Cruisers.
No, not my thing.
Jason is here, sir. How are you? He's saying hi to peoples. So one of the things that we're talking about today is now that we're back.
Right.
We're getting on track because we had a lot of the things.
So we have a deal with each other. If you're out of the state, it doesn't count. You can whatever. And
She's talking about food, by the way.
Planned for Disney to be a food vacation. We were going to have what we wanted and we knew we were going to have what we wanted. So we had to put pizza one night and Chinese food one night. And I mean, we ate like your average American. We ate like trash and we knew we were going to eat like
But we didn't go like crazy overboard.
Except for Gideon's cookies. Yeah.
Even that
oh my goodness.
Even that we had a cookie that day and shared it.
Okay.
With ice cream.
But we bought 6 to go.
Well, yeah.
And a piece of cake. And I sat down with the kids and cracked open all of it. And we each took like bites. Like I got out a knife and we cut up the cookies and tried little bites of each taste each flavor that we got. Oh, that stuff. I mean, there's a reason I don't live near there. They'd have to roll me out of Disney Springs.
I mean, it's a place you have to like wait in line for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But we met a couple from, where they from? New Jersey?
I think that's what they
Yeah,
said.
we had
they
met
were super
a
nice.
couple from New Jersey. We talked to them for a while, and then you get inside, and like inside the place is really cool because it's kind of like spooky.
Ooh.
It's kind of that like not steampunky, but that kind of vibe a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's
just
that
really
macabre kind of feel. Like it could totally work in like in Nocturnally and like Harry Potter land.
Yeah. But it's really cool and like that thick. Oh.
With like 200
and
chocolate
they
chips.
used semi-sweet chocolate chips on their chocolate chip cookie. Thank the Lord, because whoever uses milk chocolate chips on their cookies, you're wrong. Just across the board, you're wrong. You're wrong. Milk chocolate chip is not made for cookies. Anyway, it was delicious.
We had such a fun time though.
Yeah. So now that we're back, trying to get back on track.
Beef, butter,
chicken, and eggs.
Yeah, because
Well, so I haven't started it yet, but that is the game plan.
basically what I did today.
I didn't today because I had some fruit with the girl, and so probably starting tomorrow for me. I'm still gonna have my coffee, but I can't do bacon. It doesn't agree with me.
Coffee is one of those things we just.
Yeah,
it's a
coffee is
non-negotiator.
always included, regardless of how I'm eating. Coffee is included. But I'm gonna try the beef, butter, chicken, and eggs because I can't bacon. So that is gonna probably start tomorrow. I mean, I had beef and eggs today, but then I also had blackberries and a little bit of a mandarin orange with my daughter or granddaughter.
So it's not like we're off the rails.
No, but I'm not gonna get all crazy up in here. I'm gonna try to stick with the beef, butter, chicken, and eggs and see if it does anything. See if it makes me feel any better. I just got to get back. I didn't want to start right off the bat when we got back because I worked Saturday and Sunday, and I thought if I would get the keto flu and be at work, it would be an issue. I would really struggle. So made sure I packed electrolytes for work. I brought some broccoli and cauliflower mix for work so that I had some carbs coming in. So we'll see starting tomorrow, and I'm not sure how long until I'm sure I've cleared all the cookies out of my system.
So Anna and Chris are asking, does bacon not agree with you?
No, not at all. I freaking love bacon. It is one of my favorite favorite flavors of things, but it gives me really, really bad heartburn. Bacon and peanut butter. The older I get, the worse it does for me. I don't know why. I'm kind of wondering if it's a genetic thing, but I don't know. It just really, and I mean like the kind of heartburn where I will eat it and it'll be, 3 hours later and I still have heartburn. That doesn't cure, doesn't go away.
And it's the same thing like with
most pork products in general.
Pork, like so even with pork loin, pork chops, pork belly, unfortunately.
I know.
It doesn't bother me. Now pork belly and bacon do not bother me, but if she's not going to eat it, we've got a bunch in the freezer. If she's not going to eat it, then I'm not going to make it.
Yeah. And on top of that, just things that are overly cooked. So like we used to use a crock pot all the time with the kids when they were young because it was easy to throw things in the crock pot and just let it go and then eat it the next day kind of thing, or eat it 6 hours later or whatever. I can't. It just sets me on fire, like heartburn like I've never had before. And I don't get that if I eat a burger or if I eat steak or if I eat chicken. I only get it with things that are like well done, or with things any pork at all. Brisket, doesn't matter. Any pork.
Brisket's beef.
Oh, well then I don't mean brisket. The pork sandwich things like pulled pork. That's the word I meant. Any pork things. Pork. Can't have it. I mean, I can. I just don't like the feeling it gives me.
Jen, how much will I lose if I cough up a lung?
I don't know. They're not very big. Are you sick right now?
We're
on the tail end.
Yeah.
When we were down there, what do you want to call him? Son-in-law?
Yeah, basically.
The son-in-law said, "Oh, I think I just have allergies." And I was like, "Okay, just have allergies. Go ahead and take some allergy meds, see if you feel better." Took an allergy med. He said he felt a little bit better, and then he was still coughing, hacking, runny nose, all that jazz. So we both got that because it wasn't just allergies. But it's improving.
Yeah, I mean, it made for an interesting drive home.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't get to go to the beach.
No,
because the day we had set aside to go to the beach, we were cuddled up. We each picked a couch, had a blanket, and we're watching Netflix because we were frozen.
Yeah.
Miserable frozen.
A really terrible werewolf movie. It was great. I loved it.
I didn't even think I watched that.
You didn't. You were sleeping in bed when I watched that.
Okay.
I very much, like I said, like Halloween, and I like crappy movies. Crappy Halloween movies. So that was fun. I enjoyed watching it. It was really bad. I don't even remember what it's called. I don't know. It's pretty bad. I think it was on Netflix. Had to have been on Netflix.
So basically, the chicken that we're going to be eating is just going to be chicken thighs, either boneless, skinless, or bone on, or bone in, skin on. Because I mean, they're easy.
Yeah.
I mean, not as easy as bacon, really. You just fold it and put it in the oven. But yeah.
But the chicken doesn't give me heartburn.
Right.
It makes me want to die.
Mm-hmm. And it's relatively cheap, so it's not like adding anything to the budget.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, it's going to save us money instead of eating steak every night.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what it's in place for. Because I'll eat frozen burger patties. She won't.
No, I'll eat fresh burger.
Yeah.
And
But
I'll
right
eat
now,
fresh steak.
Even the bulk 10-pound tubes at Walmart are like $3.20 a pound.
Yeah.
Which is still way
do it for a meal during the week.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's not that expensive. It's no worse than a gallon of gas. I mean, but let's see. Oh, I have no problem with water. Sometimes
that's why we didn't drink any water. Well, water while we were in Florida that wasn't bottled or come from like some kind of a filter.
Like bleach.
They put bleach in the water. Yeah.
Water doesn't bother me usually. Most soda doesn't even bother me usually. But bacon, it makes me feel like I'm dying. It's pretty bad. When I was young, cucumbers used to do it to me. And my grandma would say the same thing, but nothing would stop me from eating a cucumber. I freaking love them. When I was young, we used to go visit my great uncle Morris up in New York State, and we would. He lived on a lake, and his wife had like a cucumber garden patch, and she would just peel and cut me cucumbers all day, and I would eat probably my weight worth of cucumbers, and she just loved it because she grew so many. She ended up having to throw some out by the end of the summer, and she was like, "I just love when you come to visit. I don't have to throw any cucumbers out." And I would just eat them and eat them and eat them and eat them, and then get heartburn as a child and feel miserable and not know why. So
that's got to be some like duodenum issues.
My body is a hot mess. It just is. It hates me. That's really what I've come to realize. My body hates me. It's okay.
Jason says all the stomach issues he's had, heartburn's never been. I've had heartburn since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And I think it started with eating, like, my mom would give us tomato soup.
Mm-hmm.
Tomato soup with crackers crushed up in it. Big bowls of it when I was a kid. And I would eat it and get ridiculous heartburn. And I'm like, oh, I'd be so miserable. But I loved it. I loved tomato soup and crackers.
Yeah.
I don't know who doesn't, right?
How do you think we're both fat? Because our bodies were telling us, don't eat that. And we were both like, double down. Give me more. I'm in for it.
Even now, well, I'll get back to that in a second. But like heartburn, I was on medication from the time I was like 19 until when about a year or so in a keto, I stopped taking, I was taking the Meprazole at the time. So 20 years I'm taking, 20 years I'm taking heartburn medication every day.
Yeah.
Or just eating Tums like they were candy all day, every day. Or taking whatever was new on the market. I was eating. Like there was Galveston, there was Gaviscon, there was it was Galvatron, the Transformer.
Yes.
That's why it didn't work, because he was trying to get out of my chest. Anyway,
he was trying to transform.
And like Prevacid, like the Prevacid, the actual like prescription, my mom would get that, and like it was supposed to be 2 a day. We split the prescription and would take 1 a day each, and that worked for a couple of years. It worked great.
Yeah.
And then because I don't know, I thought I was dying at first when I went and got diagnosed with the what you call it, the I don't know, some
GERD.
Yeah, it was awful. And then keto helps a lot. But if I'm eating clean, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
But then we're eating trash or eating late, too late at night.
Too late at night will kill me.
Yeah.
Too late at night. And I'll even wake up in the morning and have like burps of the food that we ate the night before. And that, like, if I eat at 9 o'clock and we lay down at 10 in the morning, when I get up at 5, I'm still belching whatever we ate last. And that I know that is a problem. It's probably that I have delayed gastric emptying or something to that matter, but I don't like to go to the doctor. Bad nurse, bad.
She won't listen to me.
Anyway,
she actively ignores my voice.
I mean, it's selective hearing. Everybody knows what that is. You usually think it comes from the male partner, but no, it doesn't.
And they say they do thighs a couple times a week, $1.50 a pound at Walmart. Yeah, I mean, we when we get the bone in, skin on, we do the butter bob way.
Yeah,
because that's really good. It's like chicken candy.
Oh, it's friggin' delicious. Love it.
We love butter bob.
We do love butter bob.
I need to try to get him on one day, but he probably won't. And Jen says she wants you to share all the details about Bippity Boppity Boutique.
Oh my gosh. We had the best time.
I was not included.
No, he was not. So only 2 adults can go, and me and mommy went. And first thing you do is you go in and they ask for you, do you have your appointment? I don't know. You sit down and you wait, and you get to look through a little book of packages. And I had already pre-decided I didn't care. We're going to get whatever this small child wants. We will be her hostage for the afternoon. We'll get her whatever she asks for. This is her day to be a princess. Everybody deserves to be a princess at least once in their life. And this is her day. So we go in. There's other kids and moms sitting around, and grandparents and dads and whatever, sitting around. And we're looking through this book, and she was being kind of a jerk. Like, she was being a mean toddler. And we had this discussion about, do you ever see princesses acting that way? Like, do you ever see a princess being mean to their mommy or mean to their grandma? No, you don't see that. I was like, you're going to end up being the evil princess if you don't turn it around. So after that conversation, we took her, they called her name and they called her princess. And when we went back, the first thing we were able to do is choose what package we wanted. So we, of course, picked the most expensive package because she wanted everything. And then she was allowed to pick out a dress. And she picked out this beautiful pink Princess Aurora dress. And that instantly changed her mood. Instantly. Like, we got sent to our own dressing room, and we go in there, and it's me and mommy and her. And they have a mirror on the wall that shows the fairy godmother, and she talks to the kid, and she has them say bippity boppity boo so that they can start their magic. And it was amazing. She loved it. And we put her in the dress, and she was just like, oh, like looking at herself in the mirror, just like, oh, I'm a princess. It was amazing. And mommy was crying, and grandma was taking pictures, and it was adorable.
I was riding the people mover.
Yeah. And then we go out.
And Carousel of Progress.
We go out from there back to the store area. It's not really a store, but they have all the dresses displayed, and there's mirrors. So she and a bunch of other little girls are looking at themselves in the mirrors, and, oh, I'm this princess. Oh, I'm this princess. Oh, I'm this princess. And they're all like curtsying and bowing and twirling and just having a blast. And she freaking loved it. And this was so earlier in the day. She had been hanging out with mommy and daddy, and they found a spot in the park where I guess it had rained overnight or earlier in the day. I don't remember. Anyway, there was a bunch of water collected, and she had been playing in puddles all day.
Thought she was playing in a fountain.
No, there was water on the ground. She was splashing in puddles. So she was soaking wet by the time we got to the boutique. So everything was wet down to her britches. Like her hair was kind of matted to her head. Like she was a dirty little child when we got there. And then so we're in there playing with all the other kids. And then they call her back, Miss Princess. And we go back to a little like a salon type of area, and she gets to sit in her own salon chair. And the woman helping us was amazing. If I had cash on me at the time, I would have given her like $100 tip. She was amazing. She spent all of her, and I know this is what they're trained to do and this is what they do this for, but she literally made our little girl feel like she was the princess. She talked to her about everything she'd been doing and how much fun she had and why she picked the dress she picked, and just talked to her and made her feel so special. And they did her makeup and they did her hair and they sprinkled her with fairy dust. And it was the cutest thing ever. She got to hold the little, you remember those from like the 80s, those little plastic face guards so you could spray hairspray in your hair? She held that while they did the fairy dust. And it was just the cutest thing I've ever seen. And they have a photographer back there taking pictures of them while they're getting all their hair and makeup done. And then she got to take the makeup and then, and they painted her nails, and she got to take the nail polish and the makeup home. And she picked a hairstyle where they added pink hair to her hair, and you would have thought they hung the moon. And then they take her from there across into Cinderella's castle where she gets pictures taken. And this little child was amazed. She was so just excited and just overwhelmed. And the rest of the day, she was acting like a princess and holding her.
Like she ran that place is basically what she acted like.
Yes.
She's like, I'm a princess and I run this place.
She was amazing. And I ate up every second of it. And it was the best ever. And I've been replaying it in my mind ever since we left. It was awesome. And even like today, we were playing in her room, and she had a bubble wand that we bought at the park, and she was blowing bubbles, and she said, "Oh, I need to put on my princess dress." So we went and put on her princess dress, and there was a princess in our playroom making bubbles, and we had a princess bubble party in the playroom today. And it just, I just eat it up. Ma eats it up. I can't help it. She's spoiled because I love to spoil her. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Jen says her hubs ate Digel and Malox like M&Ms. No, Digel is what she meant.
Digel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like M&Ms.
Yeah.
I've never had the Malox.
So that she's like, I did notice her feet didn't touch the ground while she was in the dress.
Yeah.
Well, she would have got shoes, but they didn't have pink shoes.
Oh, they didn't have pink. They only had silver or gold. And she was like, no, I got Crocs. I got pink Crocs. I'm good. She had pink ones and white ones. She wore the white ones on Halloween night and the pink ones when they turned her into a princess. But she freaking loved it. And on Halloween night, while we're trick-or-treating, so first off, they give you gallons of freaking candy at Disney if you've ever trick-or-treated on Halloween at
so to kind of set the picture, at every candy stop there's at least 2 people passing out candy, and they have like, when you go to the gas station and up near the registers they'll have those big round tube things that have ice in them, and then they're full of sodas. They had those full of candy.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't just using their hands, they had like scoops.
So the big scoops where you get peanuts at the grocery store, like the shelled peanuts, those big they had those. They were giving you candy with huge scoops.
And you could go back through. They didn't care.
No, they don't care how much you get because they know they're making money on your ticket.
Yeah.
And all the souvenirs you're going to buy and everything else. But we went and got candy. She was having just the best time ever.
And then the dance party, the
And
zombie dance party.
There was a dance party. She danced for at least 30 minutes, maybe an hour. We had to trick her to get her out of that area because she didn't want to stop dancing. And then we were walking and
they had dancers out. They had like a DJ guy that was like a hype guy. Then they had like 5 or 6 dancers who would come out and they would dance on stage and they would dance on the ground with the kids and high five and show them moves. I mean, they go all out.
Yeah. Well, we were walking and trying to get pictures with some of the villains because on Halloween they usually bring out all their villains. And we're walking and we see Anastasia and Drizelda Tremaine, the 2 evil stepsisters from Cinderella. And Anastasia was wearing a pink dress because I think she wears like a pink dress in the movie and the other one wears green. And we walk over near them and our little one, she just looks up and like thinks she's a princess and goes, oh, and they start talking and they talk to her and she goes, do you want to hold my hand and go for a walk? And the Anastasia one goes, okay, and takes her hand and they go walking through the park and walking and talking together.
They have handlers and all that
yeah,
stuff.
With us following behind. I'm trying to take pictures. All of my pictures are blurry except for one, but that's fine. And just talking about how she's wearing a pink dress and how beautiful and we love pink too. And she asked questions and they told her about Cinderella and said that she was locked up in the castle. And she says, oh no, that's Cinderella's castle to them. And they're like, well, I don't know. I think you got that wrong. And, they stayed in character the whole time and they spent like 15 minutes with her, maybe even a little bit more than that. And she just was in awe. And when they walked away, she goes, Ma, did you see that princess in pink? And I got to hold her hand and talk with her. And I said, sweetie, that's an evil stepsister. She's a bad guy. And she goes, oh, I didn't know she was a bad guy.
Oh, so we were walking into Epcot.
Loved it.
One of the days we were walking into Epcot, and was it Cinderella and Prince Charming?
Yes.
We're walking kind of through the park, and Prince Charming looks over and like compliments my beard.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Pretty important. Oh, I'm a Star Commander too, by the way. Big deal coming through.
Oh my goodness. The best. The best thing ever. We went to Hollywood Studios and we rode Rise of the Resistance and we took the little one on that. And if you've never been on it, it's a Star Wars ride where
you basically you get on a ship.
Right.
And you get on this ship and you're supposed to just go off and you're going off to do something. Nothing important.
You're trying to keep the secret from Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Okay. And the stormtroopers shoot at you, and Kylo Ren's coming at you with his lightsaber, and they're trying to get you.
So it's a full experience. So you get on this ship, like you got on this little ship, and it feels like you're taking off, and then like you feel like then you can feel you being pulled towards the bigger ship. And then when you get docked, the bigger ship, they open up and everybody's in character. So you walk off this ship into this line and you're waiting there and they're talking to you, interrogating you.
And there's a line of stormtroopers.
Well, yeah, then you go through, then once you get through that, you walk into a room and it's full of stormtroopers and it's just totally immersive.
Really cool.
Yeah.
We get off the ride and she is shaking and in tears. And I thought, oh my God, we just terrified this small baby. How did we do this? And she's
like, it was rough. There was like a drop and stuff.
She's like, they were trying to kill me because I'm the good guy. And then every time we were in the Star Wars area of Hollywood Studios and we would see stormtroopers, not every time we would see them, but we saw them at least twice. And she would just pull the hood down of the stroller and go, I need to hide because I'm the good guy and they're the bad guys. Every time. It was the cutest thing I've ever seen. I just, and we try to tell them, I'm not the droid you're looking for. But she was like, no, I need to hide.
Oh, Halloween night, we get in line so she can meet the Queen of Hearts. And we start talking. We start talking to another family that's in line with us because you're in line for 20, 30 minutes.
Right.
And so she starts talking to this little girl, and she was like, what, 2 years younger than her?
She was 3. Was 3 or 4.
Yeah. So about 2-year difference, right? And they're talking about their favorite colors. The girl's, her favorite color was yellow. She was in a yellow dress. and our girls
favorite is pink, and she was in a pink dress,
and they're just having the time of their life. And then like it was time for our girl to get her picture taken. She takes the other girl by the hand, and they walk over to get their picture taken together.
Yeah, it was so
we do have pictures of this random girl.
But it was so sweet. She was like, "You can come with me and get your picture taken." So cute. So cute. Sometimes she is the sweetest thing that there ever was. Other times she is a demon. But mostly she's the sweetest thing that ever was.
I don't love you, Paul.
She told me that a couple of times today too. It's fine. It's fine. My feelings are only mostly hurt. It's okay.
It's fine, right?
It's fine.
Yeah. So,
anywho.
So basically, we had the time of our lives.
Yes.
We did miss all of you.
Yes, we did.
Greatly. I didn't even really have my phone on me too much outside of what I needed it for in the parks, like looking up times.
Mine was only on to take pictures. I was like, click, 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 click.
And so, I mean, I just didn't have my phone on me. It was awesome. Yeah. Kind of detaching and electronicizing yourself.
Is that a word?
It's not.
I don't think so.
But, so yeah, we're, I think, it is a reset for us. So beef, butter, chicken, and eggs will be a reset.
Yeah.
As well as eating cheaply.
Yeah. Because, I mean, let's be honest. Even if you do Disney on a budget, Disney is not cheap.
No.
I mean, there's no budget that's budgety enough.
They did have Coke Zero, folks. Coke Zero in the parks. Then some places will have it in 20-ounce bottles. And most like quick service places that have fountain sodas will have it on tap. So there's that. And then you can get cups of water. So
they have Diet Coke everywhere.
Yeah, they have you can get Diet Coke anywhere.
That's the good stuff.
It's not.
It is.
It's gross. Don't let her lie to you. Don't let her take you to the dark side.
I like that.
This is not the droid you're looking for. Anyway.
It is yummy. Anyway,
so we're gonna be I mean, realistically, it's out of gonna get ourselves back on track. I mean, we could have gone even crazier than we did.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, we didn't do that terrible.
I mean, it wasn't great.
No.
I mean, it was awesome. School bread. Anyway.
Oh, they had this alcoholic coffee in the Sweden pavilion. Norway pavilion in Epcot. Even if you go down there and you want to stay keto, give yourself a small break to try this alcohol drink. It was like Kahlua and chocolate milk. I don't know what they put in it.
It was supposed to be frozen, but it wasn't like a slushy or anything like that.
It's magical. Literal magical. Like I could have drank 7 or 8 of them.
I went in by myself to the bakery in Norway, and I ordered 1 school bread, and then I heard the people talking about the Viking coffee, and I was like, I want a frozen Viking coffee. And I've been talking to this couple and just talking to them about their stay, what they're doing, where they're staying, how they're enjoying their time at the parks. They were there without kids, I'm pretty sure. They seemed like young and fit and, like people,
They were those people.
They were like attractive people. Like they were very attractive people. And so I'm talking to them and hanging out, having a good time. I will talk to anybody though. If we're in line together, we're talking.
Yeah.
Because that's just who I am. Anyway, and then like I ordered my school bread, I ordered my Viking coffee, and they reached over and paid for it.
That was really cool.
I'm like, that, like, it just catches you off guard so bad because, like, I might do that for somebody, but it's such a weird thing when someone does it to you, right?
It's really cool, but it does make you like, oh my God.
It's kind of awkward.
Like you didn't have to do that.
Do I look poor?
Yes. Yes, we do.
Do I look needy?
Yes. Yes, we do.
Do I look homeless? Sometimes.
Often, yes. But it was a good time overall.
I did. Thank you for reminding me, Jen. I did on one of our morning trips over to Hollywood Studios. I made an effort to get over there and see her, and we talked for a little while. I didn't bother her too long because, I mean, obviously she's working there. But we talked for a while. I got an awesome hug. She works outside of where you make your lightsabers. So
yeah, our youngest boy made a droid.
Mm-hmm.
He was really excited about that.
What little boy? Was it little boy? A little guy?
Little guy.
He named a droid little guy.
Little guy. He's
it's
a
like
weird kid.
the one where the head slides around on the ball, you know, but not BB-8. It was like another one. Like it was like basically BB-8, but not BB-8.
But yeah,
yes.
I didn't meet her because I had the toddler, and we went to Toy Story Land because toddler, Toy Story Land.
Oh, we rode the saucer ride a bunch.
Oh, this alien saucer spin.
One thing though that I am regretful for, I didn't get any footage or even get a chance to try the pork rinds and Galaxy's Edge. They do sell pork rinds there. They're seasoned, and I'm not sure exactly what they're seasoned with. I didn't get a chance to try them, but I did get some coffee there that was good. It was like coffee. Now, it wasn't the best because it was like coffee with oat milk. And then they put like Cocoa Pebbles, or not Cocoa Pebbles, but Cocoa Puffs on top. So, yeah.
It was bitter AF.
Oh, the coffee itself was great. The
bitter
coffee
with... AF.
Anyway, listen, woman, listen.
It was like Starbucks.
Well, with the oat milk, it was really good.
I thought it was bitter.
Oat milk was sweet because, I mean, most of the oat milk comes with like sugar in it.
I thought it was super bitter.
Yeah, you're super bitter.
And I drink, if I get Starbucks on the regular, I will get a Trenta iced coffee with 3 shots of espresso, no classic, and heavy cream. So it's bitter to start with, but that one you got was really bitter.
Yeah, but they were pretty. That was like $10 for 2 coffees.
Yeah.
And we did try the blue milk. We also did try the blue milk, which was
gross.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but it wasn't awful either.
It was not worth your money.
No, that was like $10 for some weird reason. I don't know why they charged so much money for the blue milk.
It was not good.
It didn't have alcohol in it. Alcohol was even more expensive.
It was yucky.
Yeah. So anyway, spending all that money. Now we're back. Beef, butter, chicken, and eggs.
Beef, butter, chicken, and eggs. Starting it out tomorrow.
I'm pretty much just going to be beef and eggs, probably.
Yeah.
I
just need something else.
Yeah, just something.
Some other choice.
Yeah. So that's where the chicken comes into play. Just to keep her, because if she gets too monotonous, she gets upset. And then the only person here to take it out on is me.
And you deserve it, because it's usually your fault.
Have a good night, you two. Hope you guys,
Bye, guys.
Hope to see you guys again soon sometime.
But yeah, Disney was fun.
That's you.
I hate this.
I know. We need to take it off the wall.
I'm not taking it off the wall. I'm going to take you off the wall. Here, hold the cat.
He's
gonna run.
Ow! That cat needs to go outside.
No, he doesn't.
Forever.
No, he does not.
He's mean.
Be nice to my cat.
He hurts me.
He doesn't hurt you.
It hurt.
It was not intentional.
All right, anyway, now that she's gone, let's talk crap.
Okay, I'm back. So, what has everybody else been up to?
I know we've been gone for 2 weeks. I haven't had a chance to watch hardly any content. And while we were there, even if I wanted to be on my phone a lot, the service was abysmal. I mean, at best we had 4G.
At best. Oh, I have something I would want to talk about.
What do you want to talk about?
Anybody would be interested.
Okay.
So, I had a situation the other day at work where we had a patient admitted with a specific diagnosis, and it had zero to do with their weight. And the patient had previously had a gastric bypass surgery and was still doing relatively well, considering. Had initially been over 500 pounds, now down to, I think, like 350, but it kind of up and down. It's been a couple years. And the patient, after my second day of having them, the doctor who came to see them, that was a specialist and the reason why they were there, the patient was in tears and said, I don't want to see that doctor anymore. Every time I see him, he talks about my weight, and I'm not here because of my weight. I'm here because of something else. And he just makes me feel bad. And I don't need that. That's not why I'm here. It's not what I'm here for. And I really dislike the way he's treating me. So I had a small conversation with the doctor, and I just said she really doesn't want to see you anymore. She would rather someone else come in and see her, because every time you've seen her, you've talked about her weight, and she's not here for that. And he was like, not understanding why it was such an issue. He's like, well, she's huge, and she, obviously isn't taking care of herself and is, that big and having all these problems. And I said, yeah, but the problems aren't because of the weight. I'm sure it's not helping, but it's not because of the weight. So, she just would rather see somebody else. He was like, well, that's fine because I'm off service tomorrow. It'll be somebody else. But my thought was, and I probably should have said more, but didn't, because I think we've all been in a situation where you've got that one person who's always bringing up your weight, and they're doing it because they care. When the reality is, in my mind, if you have never struggled with a weight issue and you continually bring up somebody else's weight, you're not out to help them. You don't understand what they've been through, and you don't know why or where they are or why they are where they are, and you really don't have any business bringing it up. And I say that slightly with, like, I understand a conversation. I understand one conversation. Hey, you know, things are kind of getting, out of control. I'm concerned about you. Let's talk about what have you done? How can I help you? How can I support you? How can I help you get to a place where you're going to be ready for something? But I don't understand the repeated discussion and aggression, and oh, look, there's a cat again. Those types of behaviors, because at that point, to me, instead of being about the health of the person you're concerned about, it becomes more about how, in some way or another, that large person is either disgusting to you, or you don't understand why things are the way they are, when you will never comprehend that. I fully believe that somebody who has never struggled with a weight issue will never understand how it feels to be somebody who has always struggled with a weight issue. And the doctor in particular is someone who you can look at and physically know they have never struggled more than 10 pounds. So I get it. You think everybody should be healthy and this weight or whatever, but that's not a reality. And the repeated mentioning of someone's weight isn't going to help them. As a matter of fact, it can push somebody the opposite direction and make them spiral out of control, eating to try to take care of those feelings now that you've smacked them in the face with.
Because if you've done everything you've been told to do to mitigate a weight problem and you don't see results, then what are you going to do? You're going to double down on what you were doing before and just eat your feelings because, one, you find comfort in that.
Right.
And might as well, because you're fat anyway.
Right.
And that's where I've been there many times.
It was so frustrating because, I felt so much empathy for my patient, because they knew what to do. They had obviously had some success before, and constantly driving that to them, constantly saying, oh, you're overweight. Oh, you're overweight. First off, weight issues are not your specialty. So why are you even bringing it up? I understand a single conversation. I'm concerned. How can I help you?
Well,
How can I
not to
support
mention,
you?
most doctors still
Right.
look at weight as the cause and not a symptom of
Right.
issues.
It really frustrated me, because then it makes me also think, so that's how you see my patient. What do you see when you look at me? What do you see when you look at me? Because when I got back from Disney, there was a huge bag of candy waiting for me at the desk because they had trick or treated and they filled a bag of candy for me. And the first thing I did is hand it off to my coworkers because I can't eat like that. And I work with some really fantastic nurses, but they're very thin, every one of them, and they really haven't ever struggled with weight. And they will eat 4 to 5 candy bars a day and be fine. And I can't. And I don't do that.
Outwardly fine, we should say.
Well,
we don't know what's going on metabolically on the inside.
They're all really young, so I'm sure they're fine.
Yeah.
But like, it just frustrated me because somebody could say those exact same things to me, and it would really make me angry. It would really piss me off.
Yes, Cindy. Welcome. Thank you for joining us, even if it's late.
Hi there, Cindy.
Anyway, we are feeling better. We're on the upside. I've been taking a Mucinex and some ibuprofen a little bit just to kind of keep the congestion at bay. But other than that, I feel okay today for the most part. A little drowsier than I normally would, but
a little snotty.
I mean, but anyway.
But yeah, so what do you guys think? Have you had a doctor or somebody who cares, who just continually brings up your weight and doesn't offer solutions or support, just a constant like, oh, you're overweight? Thanks. I knew that. I own a mirror.
So Jen says, I had a doc tell me he wanted to do all my future surgeries that I will need because I refuse to stick to a diet. I was the willpower queen. I never saw him again. So that was like one of the things, like, I never really had interactions with a doctor as far as my weight was concerned. Even when I hit like 400 pounds, the doctors, like, I was lucky that they were like, they kind of, they didn't
really say much about it.
No, we had the one GP that we met with a few times. He was an older doctor, and he was like, if you want to lose weight, you got to be in ketosis.
Yeah.
Which basically sparked the whole reason why we're here.
Right.
But, I've had people in my life concerned about my weight that would say things that were not necessarily appropriate. They're coming from a good place for the most part. They're trying, but it's like, there's nothing you can say to somebody that's going to change them when they look in the mirror and see it every day.
They have to make that decision for themselves. And the coming from a good place, sometimes it's not. Oftentimes
Hi,
it's
Shauna.
not.
Thank you for being here.
I mean, sometimes it's just, it comes off to me as, you disgust me. You disgust me. So I need to tell you how much you disgust me. And not to be like mean about my own family, but I grew up in a household where I was told, you need to stop doing this exercise and start doing this. More than once. And like, when somebody comes at me and says something like, oh, I'm concerned about your weight. Oh, are you? Oh, really? Are you? Because you haven't offered me support. You haven't offered to help me. You haven't said, hey, why don't we go to the gym together? None of those things. You just say, you're fat. You need to lose some weight.
The girl today. You go to the gym, but you're old.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like, especially somebody in a position of healthcare shouldn't just say, every doctor I've ever been to has done, and this is from when I was young. So from high school on, every doctor except for one that I've ever been to has said, your vitals are great. Your labs are great. You look great. Your heart is great. Everything is great. Lose 30 pounds. Lose 60 pounds. Or even like when I was pregnant with my second child, well, this baby's not going to be big. You just got fat with the first one. Okay, so my weight's obviously an issue for you. But if everything is fine, I'm just overweight, then tell me what is the problem? Where is the problem? Not the problem with me being fat. What is the problem and why am I not losing anything? Don't just suggest and offer me diet pills and drugs and things like that. That's not what I want. Find the problem. Find the issue. And I felt so sad for my patient that she was reduced to tears by a doctor who this is not a specialty, not even a probably not even anything that he talked about in school because he is a specialist of a certain breed. And like to say that to somebody every single time you see them, you're fat, you're overweight, you need to lose weight. You're not offering suggestions. You're not actively trying to be helpful. You're just stating you're fat. Guess what? We all own mirrors. Anywho.
Let's see, we got some comments up here.
I'm kind of ranting a little.
That's fine. That's what we're here for, to rant and rave and, get it all out. So Shauna says, my father's wife once told me she was glad I was doing keto because she didn't want to deal with someone else dying. Not because she cared for her. She just didn't want to deal with it.
That's the worst. Like, who said that to somebody? I'm sorry. I am sorry for her horrible thoughts and feelings. That is mean. Although I have told Dustin he's not allowed to die first because I am not going to hug his friends. It's kind of in the same vein.
And yeah.
Sorry.
And then Jen says, those same people are usually the ones who would tell you one dessert or treat won't hurt you either.
Yeah.
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 I mean, they're always like, I see over and over again people talking about
everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation. Or no one was there worried for their health when they were going to McDonald's 4 times a day and eating, half gallons of ice cream at night watching TV. But as soon as they started eating beef and eggs and veggies, oh, you're going to die. That's what they were, like now they're all of a sudden so worried for your health.
Yeah.
Not when you're literally killing yourself from the inside out.
Right. Yeah, I don't understand.
Also the reason I didn't contact with my father for 20. I don't have contact with my real dad either. So
no.
I know how that feels. He's just never been a part of my life. We've tried a few times throughout history. It just doesn't work out.
Yeah. My mom can be vicious, but she has her own issues. And she basically stopped saying things to me, specifically not my siblings, but to me, the last time when she asked me how my butt got so big, and I turned around in a circle and pretended like I didn't know it was there. And she realized, I don't care what you have to say anymore. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I'll make a joke out of it. Let's keep on going on. There's other things we could talk about.
Stacy says she's happy to see us.
Oh,
we're happy to see you
too.
We are feeling better.
We're still a little snotty.
Yeah.
He's always snotty.
I'll show you.
Will you?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, people who say things like that, unless you're offering like actual advice or support, you aren't helping.
Solicited advice. Unless you're giving solicited advice, keep your mouth shut.
Even if it's not solicited, I can understand one conversation.
Right.
One.
Yeah.
Hey, I love you. I care about you. I want to see you get healthy. What can I do to help you? These are the things I've tried. If any of them sound good, I can help you. Not, guess what? You're fat. Did you know you're fat? Hey, you're fat. Well, holy shit. I have never walked past a glass window or anything in my whole life, and I have no idea.
Shauna said you looked adorable while you were at Disney.
Thank you.
Not now, but only while you were at Disney.
Well, Disney has a thing that does that to me.
You don't look adorable now, only at Disney.
Only at Disney. No, I thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I had a great freaking time.
Doctors have a little bit. Yeah, I mean, they just really don't know what they don't know.
Well, the thing that kills me too is that we have yearly sensitivity training that the nursing staff has to do. I'm positive the doctors have to go through some of this as well on how to, how to talk to patients and how to empathize with them and say things. And like this patient and I had a long conversation about keto and how what I've had to deal with in my struggles in my life. And I said to her, when you're ready, you'll be ready. And there will be support for you whenever you're ready to do whatever you need to do. And don't let this one guy poop on your day, you know, but it's just frustrating.
Jennifer says her sister-in-law's mom called her a fat pig as a child and blamed her for her father's death because he died on her birthday.
Oh, that is awful. God, I am sorry. There really should be qualifications before people become parents. I mean, I honestly think there should be at least an exam. I mean, some kind of test.
I would fail.
I can't. Some of these people should not be parents.
So we have loved ones who know we are killing ourselves now since we don't eat like them.
Yeah.
I mean, we get a lot of the people who are legitimately concerned because cholesterol. Like when we were watching, and I touched on this on Sunday, but we watch Food Theory. We like how he breaks down a lot of things, but then
I think it's kind of silly and fun.
yeah. But then there's times where we watch it and we're like,
wrong.
How long are we going to be getting this wrong?
Right. And research, wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. You know it's wrong and you're still pushing it.
He may not know it's wrong.
Well, no, I think he does because he's talked about the sugar industry before and how they've paid for studies. I think he knows it's wrong, but he still chooses to share the wrong information.
But I kind of wonder too how much would YouTube censor him if he provided what he thought was the correct information?
I don't know.
Is he subject to that as well?
I wonder more who his sponsors are.
That too.
That I don't know. But regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
Big Belly Bob in the house.
Well, hello.
He was at Rockstar Pizza 2 days in a row.
Nice. Thank you for showing the local community some support.
They did a whole it was at Sunday. He and his wife were there. They went and they basically spent the gift card they got from Saturday.
Nice.
And had a bunch of different types of pizza and the tachos and sandwiches and stuff.
Very cool. That we really love that local business, and we definitely try to show them as much support as we can.
I told them that we have to get together sometime and have a keto dinner over there sometime.
Heck yeah, I'm down for that. But yeah, I feel like, there's so much nastiness and parents pass it on to their children. And how on earth?
My sons overheard their wicked stepmother back in the 90s ask their father, "Why did you ever get with that fat bitch up in Ohio?" I'm from Ohio. They were living in Texas.
People are horrible. When I got divorced and my ex-husband got remarried, we had a conversation, a very long conversation, with them because my youngest son had put on a lot of weight. Well, my parents moved out of town. We got divorced. He was starting in middle school. Like a lot was happening. Sorry, we kind of eat our feelings around this house. And he gained a lot of weight. And she took it upon herself to let me know he was fat and that I needed to do something about it. And we had a very long conversation about it. And I was very polite and I let her speak her piece. And I said, he's going to be okay. We'll figure it out. He's going to be all right. I'm not worried about him. We'll be okay. We just need to let him know we love him. And lo and behold, the child is 19 now and he's a little chunky, but he's not fat. He's very tall and he's relatively slim and he's okay. And mentally, I think he's better now and feeling better now. I mean, he's very solitude in his life, but that's a poor pandemic child, but he's okay. I'm not worried about him. And I would say that I understood the concern until I realized that it was becoming things like they were locking food away from him when he was over there and mistreating him.
We never hide food.
No.
I mean, he would eat food that we had purchased for recipe videos.
Yeah.
I'd come home like, where are those 2 bags of cheese? Literally 2 bags of cheese. Oh, I ate those last night.
But he did keto with us and he dropped a ton of weight. And now he eats what he wants, but he's still, I mean, pretty slim, very tall, and he's fine. He's gonna be okay. And the only thing you can do as a parent is to love and support your children and try to do the best for them that you can. And parents shouldn't be telling their children you're fat, you're overweight, that is not how you do it. I may not be the end all be all of moms. I certainly had my shitty points, but you definitely don't do that to your kids. I mean, dear God.
Shauna says, on a happier note, my family here, my mom, brother, and kids are very supportive of my diet. It's taken into consideration when we have family meals. That's the way it should be.
That's what it should be. Always. Our kids pick on us for ketifying everything, but I'm okay with them joking and laughing. They'll still try it.
Yeah.
They might not choose it, but they'll try it.
Bob says that Ron was real nice and covered the whole tab.
That is amazing. That's so cool. But yeah, I think for being a parent, somebody needs, they need to put out tests and exams for that.
Jason says, every time I hear people say almond juice or oil is healthier than dairy, I want to throw something at them, but I don't.
I feel that. Yes. When I hear some people say some crazy stuff, I want to throw things at them.
That's why we were a little late getting on tonight, because I had to run him to Walmart to pick up something. So he's doing okay. He's not doing keto like I would like.
Yeah. But he has to want to do it.
He has to want to. He knows that it works.
Yeah, he did great with it before.
He's done it before. I think he's just in a situation now where everything that happened after has really weighed on him. He's never going to talk about it.
Yeah.
But coming off of his blood clot and all that stuff, and then losing his job, coming back, and now working for a job making significantly less than he was making before, has really kind of put a burden on him.
He needs time to digest.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a very emotional person.
Yeah.
So he needs time to process. And once he gets through processing, think or pray that nothing else happens and he can get back on the bandwagon. I think he needs time to digest, time to work through it all.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. But
Shauna says she was scrapbooking last weekend. I'd take my coffee mug to Dutch Brothers with butter in it, and they would put my black Americano on the cup for me. Well, that's nice. So that's the one thing that I did stay on track with, was coffee. Outside of some like the 2 different coffees that I tried, I did try, like I said, I tried the Outpost coffee that was like basically like a cold brew with like cereal on top and oat milk. It was weird. And then obviously we had like 2 or 3 of the Viking coffees, which was
alcoholic coffee,
alcoholic diabetes in a cup.
Good stuff.
But so good. But everything else, I just had my venti blonde Americano with heavy cream.
Yeah.
Sometimes multiple times in a day.
I did have the Starbucks
caramel
macchiato iced. Just because what I normally drink is very bitter, and I knew we were going to be eating carby trash, and there's such a drastic taste difference between them that I didn't want to be like so bittered out that I wouldn't finish it. And if I'm going to spend that kind of money on my coffee, I want to drink it, all of it, all the way down. So I went ahead and jumped into the iced caramel macchiato, and it was all right. I mean, it's not like I do it on a regular.
Well, pre-keto, we would go to Dunkin' Donuts and get their 32+ ounce caramel macchiatos.
Yeah.
That's just like candy in a cup. It was so good, though.
Pretty sure it didn't have any coffee in it.
Probably didn't have any coffee in it.
Not enough to make it coffee.
Just sugars, like basically like like cereal milk.
Yeah.
Let's see what Jen says. Jen says, I'm taking carnivore, no mac and cheese for Thanksgiving dinner. My son is both open-minded and supportive. As they should be. The thing is whether or not they agree with what you're doing, they should still support you in your decision to do it, provided that you're not like doing something like crazy, I guess.
Right. You're not doing meth, so you're okay.
Right.
Like you're not deciding to start robbing banks, so it's okay. Like, there people look at the ketogenic diet like you're, I don't know.
I mean, like
out to start an arson ring. Come on.
Well, like I think like again, people will do like vegan and go, "Oh, I'm doing vegan." And you see them eating like highly processed trash. And you're like, that's not really healthy. But
society doesn't typically jump on them.
No.
Like they do if you say you're doing keto.
Right.
But is that the mac and cheese stuff you made? Not the mac and cheese. You made lasagna.
Yeah.
Is that the same type of concept?
I've made the carnivore mac and cheese before, where I like do like the chicken mixture and boil it real quick and then mix it with cheese. You didn't like it because you didn't like the cheese. If I would have just mixed in your kind of cheese,
just regular cheese.
Yeah, you probably would have liked it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't like the cheese sauce.
Yeah, I love the sauce. She says, Shauna says, the last couple of mornings I've had keto chow gingerbread in my coffee. I haven't tried the gingerbread, but I don't even know if I have any or not.
I don't know. We got to look.
I got to say thanks again to Jason. And before we left to go on our vacation, I won his 1,000 subscriber giveaway. I have 3 packets of keto chow. It was the butterscotch. So they sent me 3 packets of butterscotch. Super awesome. And I just didn't get a chance to say thank you publicly on our channel. I know I was chatting in his live for that. And when I found out that I had won, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody goes over. If you don't follow, if you're not subscribed to Just Jason Keto, go over, subscribe, tell all your friends, your enemies, your puppers, and your kitty cats, and have them get on their accounts and go and subscribe.
Yes.
I'm going to get to this in a second.
I'm a little burpy.
Oops. So we have here, says, maybe it's not a fair question to you, Chandra.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering what you think of flu and COVID vaccines and if they're safe.
So the flu vaccine is the same vaccine they've been giving out for 30 plus years. They modify it every season to try to account for the 3 most prevalent strains, which is a guess. Okay. The flu vaccine in and of itself, I, for myself, deem it to be safe. I have to get it every year, whether I want it or not, to work in healthcare. It's required unless I have a religious. Sorry, I was watching the cat almost puke. I have to get it whether I like it or not, unless I can prove a religious exemption, which I don't have. So I do get the flu vaccine every flu season. So I've already gotten mine for this year. The only reaction I have ever had is I one time had someone administer it inappropriately and hit the bone. And that's extremely painful. And it took about 2 months for my arm to recover pain-wise. But I've never had any reaction otherwise. And it does not protect against all versions of the flu. And I do have friends that I know that have received the flu vaccine and still gotten the flu. And it's put them out for weeks. So just know that it's aiming to protect against the 3 most prevalent strains of the flu for that season. And that is based on an educated guess. So they don't know until the flu season starts whether or not what they've done is effective. As far as the COVID vaccine, I do believe it is a safe vaccine. Whether or not it is required to continue to get boosters, I haven't read enough on it. I got the initial set of 3. It was 3, wasn't it?
2, I think. We got the first two shots, and then we got the booster.
Yeah. So the initial set of 3 shots. And I haven't gotten another one. And I would say for me, at this stage in my life and with regards to my health status, I do not believe that an additional vaccine is going to help me. What I mean is that my body has either accepted or rejected the immunity at this point, and whatever is coming out now is not likely the exact same strain that it was in 2020. I am not an epidemiologist. Is that the correct word?
I
Yeah.
think so, yeah.
I am not an epidemiologist. I am not a person who is pro every vaccine constantly. I do believe that all children should be up to date with vaccines. I do think the flu vaccine can help. I think the pneumonia vaccine should be given to anybody who is of a vulnerable population. And I think that the COVID vaccines, at least the initial first rounds, are beneficial. Now, again, further vaccines, I'm not 100% positive on, and only because I haven't read. So I don't want to say no, don't get them. That's not anywhere I'm standing, and I'm also not go get shot. I want you, to make sure that you have weighed the pros and cons and make sure that it's appropriate for you. I would say if you have had the first 3 COVID vaccines and you did not have a reaction, then it probably makes sense to get further boosters. With flu vaccines, if you don't have an allergy and you haven't had any reactions to the vaccine, continue to get them. They will help. Maybe only, every other season they're helpful, or maybe you'll still get the flu. But I would rather have more protection than less. It's like, how would I put this? It's like airbags in your car, right? You may never need them. They might just be there. But if you need them, you need to know that they work. And you want to do your best to make sure that they are working. So if you had airbags in your car and your car is a whatever and they've had a recall on it, you're going to take it in and get it fixed, kind of thing. So you know that the vaccines have worked for you and you haven't had any reactions to it. That's your safeguard. You should probably continue to keep up with your vaccines. Does that make sense? Kind of went off on a tangent with the whole airbag thing. But I'm just saying, do what makes the most sense for you. And the very least, the first round of the vaccines makes sense. And then any further boosters, that's up to you. Those are your decisions to make. As far as the flu vaccine, I do believe that they are helpful. It's just how helpful at what point in time. But I would rather be safe than sorry. I would rather have airbags in my car than not.
Jennifer says, imagine me robbing a bank, the chase scene. Hold on, let me get my scooter.
This is a 3-mile-an-hour chase. I hope they can keep up.
And then she says something like Keystone Cops, we're dating ourselves.
But yeah, the vaccines, unfortunately with the COVID vaccine, I spent time looking into and reading all the articles I could read back in 2020, and I really haven't kept up with it, only because I don't think it's going to be avoidable anymore. Like, I think people are still going to get sick with COVID. That's just the case. And unfortunately, it's going to attack some people harder than others. And, I don't know that there's any prediction in who it's going to hit and how it's going to hit them, which is the problem. I would say if you have any um, any long-term illnesses or any things that would make your immune system weaker, if you have asthma, if you have had pneumonia more than once, if you have had any respiratory ailments or any respiratory diseases, that you should definitely keep up with any and all vaccines that can prevent those diseases to hopefully prevent you from having to spend time in a hospital. Because once you're in a hospital, the likelihood of you catching something else is pretty high. Who are you texting?
Somebody said it was wonderful meeting me at the Indie Keto meetup, and we haven't talked about that either on this because we left right after. So
Yeah.
I guess we could talk briefly about the Indie Keto meetup that we had on the 21st. We left the next day. to drive for 22 hours to go to Florida.
Forever. It's forever. Well, that's really nice.
So yeah, I mean, so we had a wonderful time. We had a great turnout. I think it was like what 40 plus people, wasn't that right, Jennifer? People brought so much food, but it was, I mean, again, there's such a whirlwind. Like even with like 6 hours to talk to people, there's just never enough time. And she schedules herself so she can't be there because she doesn't want to meet any of you.
That is not. I work every weekend because that is my job.
Because
that is what I agreed to. That's what I signed up for to earn the money that I'm earning now.
I know.
That is what I agreed to.
I got to give you a little bit of a crap, a little bit. Says I'll get another booster before 2KK cruise, for the most part, to protect my 86-year-old mom.
And that's another thing too, as far as vaccines go. If you think about not just you, but the other people you're around on a regular basis, if you are around somebody who has, a respiratory disease or, virus or chronic illness, and you get sick, you can get them sick unknowingly. So keeping up with your vaccines and boosters can help prevent you from spreading something to somebody else that may kill them. So it's not a bad idea. Again, you make those decisions for yourself, talk with your provider, make sure that you understand fully what you're getting done when you're getting it done. Don't agree to medical procedures or medications that you don't know what they do.
Ask all the questions. That's the one thing about everything that happened over the last few years. It became very taboo to even ask questions. That's the one thing that bothered me above all else, is the fact that people were so very upset at just asking questions.
Well, I think the problem is don't ask the internet. Ask your provider.
Yeah, but you know what you're going to get for the most part.
If they can't give you a clear and understandable answer, tell them they need to find you the answer.
Right, yeah. I think asking the internet is like, it's like swimming with piranhas in the dark. I don't know.
Well, the thing is that the internet is a wild, wild west, and you post a question on there and you're going to get 36 different answers that are all conflicting. Ask your provider. They are educated. They might even tell you, look, I really don't know, but I'll work to try to find you the answer. That is one of my go-to things when I have a patient or family member that asks me a question that I reasonably don't have the answer to. I'm really not sure about that. That is a great question for your doctor. Let me go ask them. Let me send them a message. Let's see what they have to say. I'm not really sure. Or if the doctor comes in the patient's room, if you need me to be in there with you to help you understand what they're saying, just let me know and I'll come in. And now working in ICU, I am in the room when the doctor's around. But when I was working on a med surg floor, I would have to tell them, like, hit your call light when the doctor comes in so I can come in and be there with you and I can hear what they're saying and I can translate it from doctor to English. But asking those questions and being your own advocate is huge. You know you better than anybody else. So if you don't ask questions and get the answers you want, then either maybe you're asking the wrong question or maybe you're not prepared to hear the answer they're giving you. And you have to understand that for the most part, your doctors and providers are trying to keep you in a healthy state so they don't have to see you again. And that sounds terrible and mean, but it's so they don't have to see you again. They don't want to see you in the hospital. They don't want to see you in their office. They want to check you off.
Your GP may be a different story, but
no, for the most part, they're seeing 50 people a day. They don't want one more name on their list to see. They want to make sure you're healthy enough to not have to come back for another year, So ask all the questions you can ask, be your own advocate, keep a book with you if you need to, or a book on your kitchen counter where something comes up weird or you didn't think about when you were
Grandma
in the office.
always had a book she took with her to the doctor.
Yeah, write it down because you're not going to remember it necessarily on the spot, but you will if you have it written down.
Cindy says she couldn't make it, so she's upset. But Brian's mom had passed away, so they were taking care of that. So Never be sorry for putting family first.
Yes.
Ever.
Family should always be first.
I know that we're a family to you, but
we're like distant cousins.
You know.
We would rather you be there for your loved ones.
So one thing that I wanted to see here is because people were talking about HIPAA. Now HIPAA went out the window during that. And I don't think that's necessarily true.
No. So HIPAA is the Health Insurance Privacy and Portability Act. And what it means is that you are not going to share patient information with anybody who is not involved in their healthcare team. So basically, me telling you a story about a patient is safe for me to tell you if I don't tell you anything about their personal information.
They can help you identify them.
Right. They're male or female, or they are this old, or they are, this weight, or they were here on this day, or things like their room number, their specific diagnoses, things that you could utilize to figure out who the patient is. That's really what it means for care providers, is that you're not sharing information with others that can make somebody, what do they call them? What do they call them? They call them like a bad agent. That a bad agent could find information about your patient and figure out who they are. That's essentially what HIPAA is. And that means when you are in the hospital or in the doctor's office, that they're also managing your chart and your paper information well, not accidentally sharing things, name, age, date of birth, things like that with people they don't mean to, making sure that they're destroying of that private healthcare information well. We use shredding companies that are contracted because they're able to keep things secure and not share. With the whole 2020 thing, there were some, I'm sure, breaches of HIPAA here and there, but the big thing was trying to manage the influx of ill patients that were severely and critically ill, while trying to maintain that HIPAA, that privacy for everybody. And I'm sure in certain areas there were breaches and there were breaks.
I think where a lot of people get upset and they think that there were HIPAA violations was between you and your employer, or you and a music venue wanting you to prove that you were vaccinated or whatever.
It's not a HIPAA violation if somebody asks you your information and you share it, because you're sharing it.
Yes.
Now, if they called your doctor's office and your doctor shared it, that's a violation. They are not allowed to do that. Now, for nursing staff and medical staff, we signed a contract when we agreed to work that we would follow their policies and procedures. And that means vaccines. That means keeping up with vaccines. Now, I don't know if any of you have worked in a hospital lately, but they basically have a one-way contract where they can make changes all they want and you can't. It's frustrating and it's irritating unless you work in a hospital that or work for a healthcare system that has a union, which very few and far between there are. There are some I know in Wisconsin and California. I'm not really sure anywhere else, but Indiana sure isn't a state with unions. But the contract is one way. So they can make adjustments to your pay, to your time, to what days you're required to work, as many as they want. They can require you to get a COVID vaccine or get fired. They can do all of those things. And they're allowed to change the contract in their favor. However, you can't change your end of the contract without either agreeing to basically take a different position.
You're applying out.
Right, you're applying out, or you're applying to a different position. You can't say, well, if you don't pay me this much, I'm out. Well, you can, then you're out. I mean, you can't make an adjustment.
You can go in and negotiate. I would like a raise.
Right, but their answer inevitably is no. So, I mean, it is a contract that you sign that you agree to. So again, with the HIPAA thing, places asking to see your COVID vaccine records, if you're providing them, that's you sharing your information. That is not your doctor's office sharing that information or your place of work sharing that information. That's you sharing it. And that's not a violation of HIPAA. What does this say? I can't see it.
She says, just basically saying we missed you, Cindy. And she had planned to be in Cincinnati in the meetup, but then Cindy wasn't in Cincinnati either. Let's see. And then they were basically saying, feel better. She said she'll shake it eventually. And then Shauna says, it's okay. That's fair about HIPAA. I would just say that I had a horrible experience personally with my job concerning being able to make my own choices.
Oh yeah, we had hundreds of nurses in the Indianapolis area that lost their jobs because they did not want to get COVID vaccines. And now those nurses are rehired because they need staff. But at the time, they said you didn't get a COVID vaccine, you can't work here. And there was no unless you had previously filed religious objections and had been granted that for the flu vaccine, you could not also do it. You couldn't newly do it for the COVID vaccine. So, like if you had already gotten the flu vaccine for that year, you couldn't not get the COVID vaccine. You had to get it. So it's very frustrating, to work. But it is frustrating that you can't make your own healthcare decisions as far as vaccines go when you work in healthcare. But the one thing is, I would do anything to keep my patients safe. I would do anything. I don't like, I wouldn't, I won't let a family member in a room if, I have concerns about either them spreading something to the patient or the patient spreading something to them. Like I'm very careful with my patients. I'm always going to err on the side of caution for them. And if that means I'm getting a vaccine, I'm getting a vaccine because I need to keep them safe. That's my job. I am their last line of defense is to keep them safe. That's I I didn't enjoy it, I didn't appreciate it, and dang it hurt like all get out, but I would do it again.
So Stacy said she got COVID, RSV, shingles, flu vaccines, steroid injections all in one day. Later, pain doctor said the steroid decreases the vaccine's effect. As a retired nurse, I didn't know how much I wonder.
The one I would be concerned about is the shingles vaccine. Everything else, I'm pretty sure. And again, I don't know about the effectiveness on the other ones, but the shingles vaccine is one that you get, and it's supposed to last 5 years or 10 years. So something that's supposed to last that long, you might want to get a titer drawn and just make sure that you are carrying the antibodies. But I don't know enough about the RSV vaccine in particular. Um, but the COVID and flu are yearly, or I think COVID's going to end up being every 6 months or something. But the RSV, I'm not 100% sure about. Shingles, I would get a titer drawn only because that's a long lasting vaccine. So you wouldn't get another one of those for several years. So you want to make sure what you did get is effective. Shingles can be a nasty, nasty virus to have to deal with. So I would maybe double check and check on the RSV. I'm not sure how frequently that vaccine is given either. That's not one I give on a regular basis.
And Shauna said basically being forced to share was wrong. I didn't like the idea that I would go to shows. I didn't really have to show it here. I don't think maybe once, but I went to Chicago for a couple things and had to show it.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of it, but it's like I understood that going to that event meant having to do that if I wanted to sit home. And it's an event that I'm glad I went to because that was one of the shows with BDM and Trevor and all that. But anyway,
Yeah, I don't think being forced to share is nice, but unfortunately working on the honor system doesn't work. That's the worst part of it. You can't just trust everybody.
just asking side effects. No, she said she didn't have any side effects, just a sore arm. And then Cindy said RSV is what killed her mother-in-law. She went in hospital on Thursday early morning, passed at 1:30 a.m. on Saturday.
Oh, it's a nasty one. I do know that.
What is RSV?
It's a respiratory virus, but I can't remember what the letters stand for. It's common in babies and the elderly. Yeah, that is a pretty nasty bug. Yeah, I would double check and get a titer drawn. I don't, like I said, I don't know how long an RSV vaccine lasts. I don't give that very often. I don't think I've actually ever given that one. So checking to see how long it lasts. If it's like once every 5 years, you might need a titer drawn on that as well.
Yeah.
And just make sure that you did get the immunity for it. My daughter has had the chickenpox vaccine 3 times and she's never retained the immunity for it. It just doesn't stick. She's had chickenpox multiple times. She unfortunately is going to be highly likely to get shingles as an adult.
That's no fun.
Yeah. It's some people just don't retain immunity and there's no real rhyme or reason for it. But, hopefully she'll be all right. She's also got COVID twice. So she's got the unlucky stick.
I never tested positive for it, but I'm sure I had it.
To be fair, I got what I believe was COVID before they said it was here in the United States. And I had like 2 weeks off just because I'd scheduled myself well, where I worked 4 days and then I think not 2 weeks. It was like 6 or 8 days off.
You were down for the count too.
Yeah. I had like 6 or 8 days off and then I came back to work 4 more days. And I was just felt like yuck for all those days off. And then I was feeling better, but I lost my sense of smell and
taste
and went to work. And I asked one of the nurse practitioners, I was like, hey, I can't smell or taste anything. Is that normal with a respiratory virus? And she was like, no, I've never heard of that before. So we talked to the neurologist nurse practitioner and she says, well, even if you'd had a stroke, the last thing you'll lose is your sense of smell. So I would expect that to come back and maybe you just had a sinus infection. And not more than a week, maybe 2 weeks later, they started putting out the news stories about losing your sense of taste and smell. And I was like, oh, they said COVID wasn't even here yet. Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Yeah, that was before I think we were even working from home.
Yeah.
We hadn't been sent home yet. Like,
no.
Even at that time, I remember, like there was like one person's reported had it in the building, and we're all like, oh, because we didn't know. We just didn't know about it. So anyway, we've gone way over our time. When we started about 10 minutes late, and we started about 10 minutes late because I was struggling to get here on time. I made it home on time, but since my office is upstairs and my stuff's already set up upstairs, and we do this downstairs, I had to migrate everything. So
come here.
Jeremiah's here just in time to say goodbye.
Hi, guys.
Respiratory
Make it big, and I might be able to see it.
You can see it.
Respiratory syncytial virus. I'm probably saying that.
Probably.
Anyway, it's mostly common in the elderly and children. Oh.
Hello, Jeremiah.
Hello, Jeremiah.
Did you know that he is a bullfrog?
He was a good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Never understood a single word he said, but I sure helped him drink his wine. Man, it was a sure fine wine.
My son had chickenpox 3 times, so since he can't develop natural immunity to chickenpox, I wondered if he's more vulnerable to shingles. Probably.
Yes. So shingles is chickenpox. Not for everybody, but for a certain number of the people of the population. Chickenpox will reside on your 5th cranial nerve, and it just lives there happy, doesn't bother you, doesn't cause infection, doesn't make you sick. It's just happy to be there. That's where it resides. It's just giddy.
It's weird that we know that.
It's cozy there on your 5th cranial nerve. And then when you are an adult, under times of stress, or sickness, or there's a bunch
health.
of sickness and in health.
Holy mattress money.
Excuse me. When you get sick or have significant stress in your life, it can I can't words. It will reactivate essentially and create the shingles outbreak. So it is chickenpox. It's just a variation of it that lives on the fifth cranial nerve. And not everybody stores it there. And not everybody who does store it has a shingles outbreak, but it just is.
Is that the last nerve?
Yes, it is. Not everybody who has it there will have a breakout, but the inability to form an immunity to chickenpox means that you won't be able to fight off shingles. So he is probably going to be more likely to develop shingles as an adult. So teach him how to meditate. Tell him not to get sick.
Oh.
You know.
Oh.
Good coping skills help. The cat was petting you.
Oh.
Oh, you just beat him.
I didn't.
Why?
I didn't mean to.
Wham! He just whacked him.
I didn't mean to do that.
But yes,
I couldn't have done it again if I wanted to.
That is your last nerve. Yeah, it resides there. They have found it resting there happily. And like I said, it doesn't. Not everybody who stores it there has a shingles outbreak, and not every person who doesn't develop the immunity will have shingles, but you have a higher probability of not being able to fight it off. That's the big thing. Oh.
All right.
Hey.
So have we begun or are we ending the Midwest goodbye?
I think we're good. Did we get all the questions answered?
Yes, I believe we did. All the questions have been answered.
And as far as any medical knowledge that I have shared, it is not advice. I am not a doctor. I am not telling you what to do or giving you suggestions even. This is just me sharing knowledge.
Sort of.
Yes.
Pseudo knowledge.
It's real knowledge.
Is it?
Sometimes I may screw up a word or not know what letters stand for exactly. But I do know what I'm talking about.
Are not medical professionals.
But he's not. But I'm not sharing it with you as a medical professional.
Oh, yeah, she is a medical professional.
I'm
waiting for my sponge bath.
You're not getting a sponge bath.
Rude.
You're capable of doing it yourself.
Yes, and Friday we will be with Cindy at 6:30 p.m.
Oh yeah, we will.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And then on Sunday, I will be sitting down early in the morning with Mr. Burrows, Mr. James Burrows from Ready Set Keto. He and I will talk for as long as we talk. And then Sunday, I'll be back again, 7:30 a.m. to talk about things just me and you. Because I might as well just talk.
Because that's what you do.
Because she doesn't listen to me.
Not usually.
No.
I know better.
She gets mad at me because she doesn't listen to me.
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm. All right, everybody.
All right. It's good catching up. We missed you guys.
All right.
Thank you for coming.
We'll see Cindy and Sana on Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us. Hit the chat. You know what we do. We just talk. I don't know what they have planned for us, but we're just going to show up with our ears and answer questions.
We'll be there with bells on.
I
might make him wear bells.
I don't even own any bells.
I'll put him in his beard. Beard bells.
Make you dress like Belle.
I don't have a dress like that will fit me.
I'm the beast. You're Belle.
I'm over the age of 5.
Are you though?
Physically.
On that note, we've been hemming and hawing and not wanting to get around. We want to go do some things, and I gotta go.
Bye. The cat says bye. See, he's trying to run away.
Sweet. Well, I have a live stream at 9:30, so that'll go until like 1 o'clock in the morning.
6:30, she says.
I know.
I'm just making sure you read it.
Yes, 6:30. But I have a live stream tonight at 9:30 Eastern over my buddy's channel where we're talking about the man with the golden gun.
Yes.
007. Roger Moore.
Mm-hmm.
I fell asleep watching that movie.
Oh, must have been good.
It was amazing. On that note, we're out of here.
Bye, guys.
Cut it out.